You can create and apply process and spot color swatches to objects, strokes, and text. Color themes make it easy to achieve color harmony in layouts. For consistent color usage across projects and work groups, you can add color themes to CC libraries. Using a pre-flight profile helps ensure that colors output properly. In this lesson, you'll learn how to do the following: set up color management, specify output requirements, create color swatches, apply colors to objects, strokes, and text,
search and replace colors,
create and apply a tint, create and apply a gradient swatch, work with color groups, and create color themes and add them to CC libraries.
In this lesson, you'll add colors, tints, and gradients to a full-page flyer for a gardening clinic. The flyer consists of CMYK colors and a spot metallic color,
along with imported CMYK images. You'll learn more about CMYK later in this lesson. Before you get started, however, you will do two things to ensure that the document looks as good in print as it does on screen. You will review color management settings and use a pre-flight profile to review the color modes of the imported images.
When the flyer is finished, you will organize the colors into a color group.
To ensure that the preferences and default settings of your Adobe InDesign program match those used in this lesson, move the InDesign defaults file to a different folder following the procedure in saving and restoring the InDesign defaults file
on pages 3 and 4.
Start InDesign. The InDesign home screen displays. Click Open at the left. If the home screen does not display, choose File, Open from the InDesign menu bar. Open the 05_start.indd file in the Lesson 05 folder located inside the Lessons folder in the InDesign CIB folder on your hard drive. If an alert informs you that the document contains links to sources that have been modified, click Update Modified Links. Now choose File, Save As. Rename the file 05_color.indd and save it in the Lesson 05 folder. To ensure that the panels and menu commands match those used in this lesson, choose Window, Workspace, Advanced, and then choose Window, Workspace, Reset Advanced. If you want to see what the finished document looks like, open the 05_n.indd file located in the same folder. You can leave this document open to act as a guide as you work. When you're ready to resume working on the lesson document, click its tab in the upper left corner of the document window. Color management works to reproduce colors consistently across a range of output devices, such as monitors, laptops, tablets, smartphones, color printers, and high-resolution printing presses. InDesign gives you easy-to-use color management features that help you achieve good, consistent color without needing to become a color management expert. With color management enabled out of the box, you'll be able to view colors consistently while ensuring more accurate colors from edit to proof to final output, print or digital. No screen, film, printer, copier, or printing device can produce the full range of color visible to the human eye. Each device has specific capabilities that makes different kinds of compromises in reproducing color images. The unique color rendering abilities of a specific output device are known collectively as its gamut. InDesign and other graphics applications such as Adobe Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator use color numbers to describe the color for each pixel. The color numbers correspond to the color model, such as the RGB values for red, green, and blue, or the CMYK values for cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. Color management is simply a way of translating the color numbers for each pixel from the source, the document or image, to the output device, such as a smartphone or a color printer. Because each source and output device has its own specific gamut or range of colors that it is capable of reproducing, the aim of the color translation is color accuracy across devices. In a color management workflow, even using default color settings, you should display images at high quality for the best possible color representation that your monitor is capable of showing. To see the difference in one of your documents, experiment with the options in the View Display Performance menu. Fast display, ideal for quick text editing because images do not display. Typical display displays images more quickly, but colors are less precise, the default for most computers. High quality display displays images at high resolution. For this lesson, choose View, Display Performance, High Quality Display. You can specify display performance defaults in the Preferences dialog box, and you can change the display of an individual object using the Object Display Performance menu. For consistent color in InDesign, you can specify a color settings file with preset color management policies and default profiles. The default setting is North America General Purpose 2, which is the best option for beginners. In this section, we review some of the preset color settings in InDesign that you can use to help achieve consistent color in your projects. However, you will not change any color settings. Choose Edit, Color Settings. These settings apply to the InDesign application rather than the individual documents. Click the various options in the Color Settings dialog box to see what is available. Point at the Working Spaces title to see a description of this feature in the description box at the bottom of the dialog box. Point at various other features to see their descriptions. Click Cancel to close the Color Settings dialog box without making changes. When you proof colors on screen, also known as soft proofing, InDesign attempts to display colors according to specific output conditions. The accuracy of the simulation depends on various factors, including the lighting conditions of the room and whether your monitor is calibrated. To experiment with soft proofing, do the following. Choose Window, Arrange, New Window for 05_color.indd to open a second window for your lesson document. If necessary, click the 05_color.indd:2 window to activate it. Now choose View, Proof Colors. This displays a soft proof of the colors according to the current settings under View, Proof Setup. Notice the minor differences between the original view of the document and the soft proof view. To customize the soft proof, choose View, Proof Setup, Custom. In the Customize Proof Condition dialog box, click the Device to Simulate menu and review the available presses, desktop printers, and output devices such as monitors and HDTV. Scroll down in the menu and select Gain 20% from the Device to Simulate menu and click OK. Grayscale profiles such as Gain 20% let you preview how a document will print in black and white. Notice that the InDesign document's title bar shows which device is being simulated, such as Gain 20% or Document CMYK. Try different soft proofing options. When you're finished reviewing the various soft proofing options, click 05_color.indd:2's close box to close the second window. Whether you are working on a document for delivery in a print or digital format, it's a good idea to know the output requirements before you start working. For example, for a print document, meet with your printer and discuss your document's design and use of color,
particularly if you plan to use a special paper or metallic ink.
Because printers understand the capabilities of their equipment, they may suggest ways for you to save time and money, increase quality, and avoid potentially costing printing or color problems.
The flyer used in this lesson was designed to be printed by a commercial printer using CMYK colors and a metallic spot color.
Color modes are described in more detail later in this lesson. To confirm that your document matches the printing requirements, you can check it against a pre-flight profile, which contains a set of rules regarding the document's size, fonts, colors, images, bleeds, and more. The pre-flight panel can alert you to anything in the document that does not follow the rules set in the profile. In this exercise, you will import a pre-flight profile, select it in the pre-flight panel, and resolve an issue with the document. First, you will load a pre-flight profile provided by the printer. Choose Window, Output, Pre-flight. Then choose Define Profiles from the Pre-flight panel menu. In the Pre-flight Profiles dialog box, click the Pre-flight Profile menu button below the list of pre-flight profiles at the left. Choose Load Profile.
Select the flyer profile.idpp file
in the Lesson 05 folder located inside the Lessons folder within the InDesign CIB folder on your hard drive. Click Open.
With flyer profile selected, look through the settings specified for the output of this flyer.
Click the arrows next to the different categories to see all the options you can include in a pre-flight profile. InDesign will flag violations for the checked options. For example, under Color, color spaces and modes not allowed, RGB is selected. As a result, all uses of RGB colors will be reported as errors.
Click OK to close the Pre-flight Profiles dialog. Now you will select the flyer profile and review any errors that it flags. From the Profile menu in the Pre-flight panel, choose Flyer Profile.
Notice that the profile detects one issue with the colors that currently exist in the document. To view the error, click the triangle next to Color 1. Now click the triangle next to Color Space Not Allowed 1. Double-click Line to select the line on the page that is triggering the error. If necessary, click the triangle next to Info to see details of the problem. Leave this panel open for the next exercise. Because this document is destined for CMYK printing, colors in the RGB color mode are not allowed. The stroke color of the line is in the RGB color mode. You will resolve this in the next exercise. Now, you will resolve the pre-flight error by converting the color mode of the swatch applied to the line. Choose Window, Color, Swatches to display the Swatches panel. In the list of colors in the Swatches panel, double-click the green dark swatch to open the Swatch Options dialog box. Select CMYK from the Color Mode menu. If necessary, scroll up in the menu to see CMYK, and then click OK. Notice that the error no longer displays in the pre-flight panel. Close the pre-flight panel and choose File, Save. For maximum design flexibility, InDesign provides a variety of methods for creating colors. Once you create colors and color swatches, you can apply them to objects, strokes, and text in the layout. For consistent color usage, you can share colors among documents and users. You can create colors in the following ways. Create colors on the fly using the color panel. Create named colored swatches for repeated and consistent usage with the swatches panel. Select the color from an image using the eyedropper tool. Use the color theme tool or object extract from image color themes command to choose among color themes generated from images or objects. Create and select themes from the Adobe Color Theme panel. Use the CC Libraries feature to share colors with Photoshop and Illustrator, with other members of your work group, and with other documents. You can define colors in a variety of color modes, including RGB, CMYK, HSB, and spot color modes such as Pantone. The difference between spot and processed CMYK colors is discussed later in this lesson. This flyer will be printed by a commercial printer using CMYK color, which requires 4 separate plates for printing, one each for cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. However, the CMYK color mode has a limited range of colors, which is where spot colors are useful. Spot colors are used to add colors beyond the range of CMYK, for example, metallic inks, and to ensure consistent color, for example, the color used in a company logo. In this exercise, you will use the swatches panel to create a Pantone metallic spot color for a headline. You will then use the eyedropper tool, color panel, and swatches panel to create a CMYK color swatch for the flyer's background color. In this flyer, the Orchid Clinic headline calls for a metallic ink for an eye-catching and elegant look. You'll now add a metallic spot color from a color library. Note that a metallic color looks like any other color on screen. You would see the difference in the metallic ink on the press, particularly with high-quality paper. Be sure to consult a printer about their capabilities and the extra costs of using metallic inks. Using the selection tool, click the pasteboard surrounding the page to make sure nothing is selected. If necessary, choose Window, Color, Swatches to display the swatches panel. Choose New Color Swatch from the Swatches panel menu. In the New Color Swatch dialog box, choose Spot from the Color Type menu. Select Pantone Metallic Coated from the Color Mode menu. In the Pantone C field,
type 8483 to automatically scroll the list of Pantone swatches to the color you want for this project, which is Pantone 8483C.
Click OK. The spot color is added to your swatches panel. The icon to the right of the color name in the swatches panel indicates that it is a spot color. New colors added to the swatches panel are stored with the document in which they are created. Now choose File, Save.
You'll apply the newly added spot color to the Orchid Clinic headline later in this lesson.
To create a CMYK color swatch from scratch, you need an understanding of color mixing and color values. Alternatively, you can experiment with defining colors in the Colors panel and add the color as a color swatch. You can also use the eyedropper tool to pick up a color from an image. In this exercise, you will use the eyedropper tool to get a head start on creating a CMYK color swatch. Then you will create 3 additional colors by entering color values. Zoom is necessary to view the yellow flower in the lower left corner of the page. Then choose Edit, deselect all to be sure nothing is selected on the page. Then choose Window, Color, Color to display the color panel. Press I on the keyboard to select the eyedropper tool. Click the eyedropper tool on a lighter area of the yellow flower in the lower left corner of the page as shown. The color picked up from the image displays in the color panel. The color values may differ depending on precisely where you clicked. To create the intended color, you will fine-tune the color values. In the color panel, enter the values shown below in the C, M, Y, and K fields. You can tab between fields, and when you're finished entering values, press Enter on Windows or Return on Mac OS. C, cyan 10, M, magenta 0, Y, yellow 40, K, black 0. Choose Add to Swatches from the Color Panel menu. A color swatch is added to the bottom of the list in the Swatches panel. It is automatically selected.
Close the color panel.
Now click the new swatch icon at the bottom of the Swatches panel. This makes a copy of the currently selected swatch. You can use this swatch as a starting place for a new swatch. Double-click the new swatch added to the bottom of the Swatches panel. This opens the Swatch Options dialog box so that you can edit the swatch. Make sure Color Type is set to Process and Color Mode is set to CMYK. Adjust the color by typing values in the following fields. You can tab from field to field. Cyan 25, magenta 75, yellow 0, black 0. Click OK to close the Swatch Options dialog box and add the new swatch. Now press Alt on Windows or Option on Mac OS while you click the new swatch icon at the bottom of the Swatches panel. This creates a new swatch and automatically opens the new color swatch dialog box. Make sure that color type is set to process and color mode is set to CMYK. Enter the following values in the fields, tabbing between fields. cyan 90, magenta 70, yellow 30, black 0. Click OK to update the color. Choose New Color Swatch from the Swatches panel menu. Make sure that color type is set to Process and color mode is set to CMYK. Enter the following values in the fields, tabbing between fields. Cyan 65, magenta 25, yellow 100, black 0. Click OK to update the color, and then choose File, Save. You have now created a spot color swatch, metallic blue, and 3 CMYK color swatches, pink, blue, and green, in addition to the yellow swatch created with the eyedropper tool. In the next exercise, you will apply colors to objects on the page. Once you create color swatches, you can apply them to objects, text, and more. The Swatches panel, Control panel, Properties panel, and CC Libraries panel offer the primary tools for applying colors. There are 3 general steps to applying a color. 1. Select the text or object. 2. Select the stroke or fill option depending on what you want to change. 3. Select a swatch. You use the stroke fill box to specify whether you want to apply color to a selection stroke, outline, or fill background. You can find the stroke fill box on the Tools panel, the Swatches panel, and the Color panel. Whenever you apply colors, keep an eye on this box, as it's easy to apply color to the wrong part of an object. InDesign provides many other options for applying colors, including dragging swatches onto objects, copying color from an object with the eyedropper tool, and specifying colors and styles. As you work with InDesign, you will discover which methods work best for you. In this exercise, you will apply color swatches to strokes, fills, and text using various panels and techniques. In this task, you will apply fill colors to various objects on the page by using the Swatches panel, dragging a swatch, and using the eyedropper tool. If necessary, choose View, Fit Page and Window, and choose Window, Color, Swatches. Choose View, Screen Mode, Normal to see the frame edges. Using the Selection tool, click anywhere in the margin of the page, outside the margin guides, to select the large background frame. Click the Fill box on the Swatches panel. Click the green color swatch named Cyan 65, Magenta 25, Yellow 100, Black 0. At the top of the Swatches panel, drag the tint slider to 40. Using the Selection tool, select the text frame at the lower right containing the words Urban Oasis Gardens. With the fill box still selected, click the yellow color swatch named Cyan 10, Magenta 0, Yellow 40, Black 0. Click the pasteboard to make sure nothing is selected on the page. In the Swatches panel, drag the pink color swatch, Cyan 25, Magenta 75, Yellow 0, Black 0, to the text frame centered at the bottom of the page containing $75. Click the pasteboard to make sure nothing is selected. Using the Selection tool, click Orchid Clinic at the top of the page. With the fill box still selected, click the Pantone 8483C Spot Color Swatch. Now choose File, Save. To prepare for the next exercise, click the pasteboard to make sure nothing is selected and choose View, Fit Page in Window. The Stroke panel, Window, Stroke, lets you apply a border to lines, frames, and text. Here, you will apply color to an existing line and a graphics frame stroke using options on the control panel. Using the selection tool, click the horizontal line above the date in the middle of the page. Click the stroke menu on the control panel.
Resize the swatches panel as necessary, or scroll down and select the green dark swatch.
Using the selection tool, click the graphics frame containing the orchid bud. Be sure to click outside the content grabber to select the frame. Click the stroke box on the swatches panel.
Scroll down and click the green dark color swatch.
Then choose File, Save. You will now select text with the type tool and apply a fill color to it using the swatches panel and the control panel. Using the type tool, click in the text frame containing the date Saturday, January 8th, 7 to 10 p.m. Drag to select all the text. On the swatches panel, notice that the fill box is changed to indicate that text is selected. With the fill box still selected,
click the green dark swatch.
Using the type tool, click in the frame at the left containing the words Grow, Maintain, Rebloom. Press Ctrl-A on Windows or Command-A on Mac OS to select all the text in the paragraph. With the fill box still selected,
click the green dark swatch.
Using the type tool, click the frame at the right containing the words Urban Oasis Gardens. Click 4 times to select all the text. Locate the text fill button on the control panel.
Click the fill button and select the green dark swatch.
Now choose Edit, deselect all to see your progress in applying colors.
If the swatches panel is taking up too much space on screen, you may close it.
Choose Window, Properties to display the Properties panel. Now using the Type tool, click in the text frame centered at the bottom of the page containing $75. Choose Edit, select All to select all the text. Now in the Properties panel, click the Fill button and then select the lighter green color swatch named Cyan 65, Magenta 25, Yellow 100, Black 0. Now type 1 point in the weight field next to the stroke button. Press Enter or Return. Now click the stroke button and then select the blue color swatch named Cyan 90, Magenta 70, Yellow 30, Black 0. Click the pasteboard to deselect the text and then zoom as necessary to see how the formatting looks. Choose Window, Properties to close the Properties panel.
Choose Edit, deselect all, and then choose File, Save. If you need to selectively make changes to color usage in a document, you can do so through a search and replace operation. For example, you may decide to change the color of the rules on the chapter opening pages in a book without changing the rules on the other pages. The Find This Color option in the Swatches panel menu lets you selectively search and replace colors. In this exercise, you will experiment with this feature by finding where the green dark color swatch is applied and then change 2 instances to a different color. You will see that this feature can save time and ensure consistency in a longer document. Using the selection tool, click the horizontal line above the date in the middle of the page. On the Swatches panel, note the green dark color swatch is applied to the line. With the green dark color swatch still selected, choose Find This Color from the Swatches panel menu. The Find Change dialog displays with the Color tab selected. Leave Find Color set to green dark. In the Change Color area, select the blue color swatch, cyan 90, magenta 70, yellow 30, black 0. Click Find Next to highlight text or objects where the color is used. When the text is selected, click Find Next to skip those instances. When the stroke on the flower image is selected, click Change. When the horizontal line above the date is selected, click Change. After you change the 2 instances of the stroke color, click Done to close the Find Change dialog. Then choose File, Save.
A tint swatch is a screened, lighter version of a color that you can apply quickly and consistently. The tint swatch is available on the Swatches panel and in other color menus, such as in the Control panel. You can share tint swatches with other documents by using the Load Swatches command on the Swatches panel menu. You will now create a light pink tint swatch and apply it to the pink text frame. You create a tint swatch from an existing color swatch. Choose View, Fit Page and Window to center the page in the document window. Using the Selection tool, click the pasteboard surrounding the page to make sure nothing is selected. In the Swatches panel, select the pink color swatch named Cyan 25, Magenta 75, Yellow 0, Black 0. Choose New Tint Swatch from the Swatches panel menu. In the New Tint Swatch dialog box, the Tint option at the bottom is the only option you can modify. Type 65 in the Tint field and then click OK. The new tint swatch appears at the bottom of the list of swatches. The tint field at the top of the Swatches panel displays information about the selected swatch. You will apply the tint swatch as a fill color. Using the Selection tool, click the text frame at the bottom containing $75. Click the fill box on the Swatches panel. Click the new tint you just created in the Swatches panel. Its tint swatch name will be Cyan 25, Magenta 75, Yellow 0, Black 0, 65%. Notice how the color changes. Now choose File, Save. A gradient is a graduated blend between two or more colors or between tints of the same color. You can create either a linear or a radial gradient. In this exercise, you will create a linear gradient swatch with the Swatches panel. Apply it to an object and adjust the gradient with the Gradient Swatch tool. When you create a gradient in the new Gradient Swatch dialog box, the gradient is defined by a series of color stops in the gradient ramp. A stop is the point at which each color is at full intensity between the transitions. It is identified by a square below the gradient ramp. Every InDesign gradient has at least 2 color stops. By editing the color of each stop and adding color stops, you can create custom gradients. Choose Edit, deselect all to make sure no objects are selected. Choose New Gradient Swatch from the Swatches panel menu. For swatch name, type pink, yellow. Leave the Type menu set to linear. Click the left stop marker on the gradient ramp. From the Stop Color menu, select Swatches, and then scroll down the list and select the pink color swatch named Cyan 25, Magenta 75, Yellow 0, Black 0. Notice that the left side of the gradient ramp is now pink. With the left stop marker still selected, type 5 in the location field. Click the right stop marker and select the yellow color swatch named Cyan 10, Magenta 0, Yellow 40, Black 0. Type 70 in the location field. The gradient ramp shows a color blend between pink and yellow. Click OK. The new gradient swatch appears at the bottom of the list in the Swatches panel. Choose File, Save. Now you'll replace the fill in one of the text frames with the gradient. Using the Selection tool, click the text frame at the left containing the words Grow, Maintain, Rebloom. Click the Fill box on the Swatches panel. Click the new gradient you just created in the Swatches panel, Pink, Yellow. Then choose File, Save. Once you have filled an object with a gradient, you can modify the gradient by using the Gradient Swatch tool to repaint the gradient along an imaginary line that you draw. This tool lets you change the direction of a gradient and change its beginning point and end point. When using the Gradient Swatch tool, the farther away you start from the outer edges of the object, the more gradual the gradient blend will be. You'll now change the direction of the gradient. Make sure the Grow, Maintain, Rebloom text frame is selected, and then press G on the keyboard to select the Gradient Swatch tool in the Tools panel. To create a less gradual gradient effect, position the cursor close to the left edge of the selected text frame and drag to the right as shown. When you release the mouse button, you'll notice that the transition between the pink and yellow is less gradual than it was previously. To create a diagonal gradient, drag from the upper left corner to the lower right corner using the Gradient Swatch tool. Continue to experiment with the Gradient Swatch tool so that you understand how it works. When you are finished experimenting, drag from the top to the bottom of the text frame to form a gradient from top to bottom. That's how you'll leave the gradient for the Grow, Maintain, Rebloom text frame. Then choose File, Save. If a document contains many colors, swatches intended for specific purposes, such as chapter openers or divider pages. You can group the swatches in the Swatches panel. You can then easily share the color group with other documents and with other designers working on the marketing campaign. You will organize the colors in this document into a new color group. Press V on the keyboard to switch to the selection tool, and then click the pasteboard to make sure no objects are selected. Click None in the Swatches panel. To create a new color group, choose New Color Group from the Swatches panel menu. In the New Color Group dialog box, type Orchid Clinic Flyer. Click OK. Now you will drag the color swatches, tint swatch, and gradient swatch created for the flyer into the new color group. To select the swatches, shift-click the first and last swatch to move. Be sure that None, Registration, Paper, and Black are not selected. Click in the blue highlighted area to the left of the selected swatches and drag them below the Orchid Clinic Flyer folder until a line displays. Then choose File, Save. As a final step, you'll preview the document in its finished state. Choose View, Screen Mode, Preview. Choose View, Fit Page and Window. Press Tab to hide all the panels and review the results of your work. Press Tab again to restore your panels. Congratulations! You have now completed this lesson. And adding frames and pages while flowing text. This makes it easy to flow copy for anything from a catalog to a magazine article to an ebook. In this lesson, you'll learn how to do the following: import and flow text into existing text frames, resize text frames automatically, link text frames to flow text across columns and pages, create linked frames automatically, add pages and linked frames automatically while flowing text, clean up text by deleting extra paragraph returns, apply paragraph styles to text, control column breaks, align text to the baseline grid, and make a jump line to indicate where an article continues. In this lesson, you'll work on a booklet in progress. The design of the opening spread of the article is almost finished, and several pages are ready for text. While working on this article, you will experiment with various text flow methods and create a jump line to indicate the page on which an article continues. Start InDesign. The InDesign home screen displays. Click Open at the left. If the home screen does not display, choose File, Open from the InDesign menu bar. Open the 06_start.indd file in the Lesson 06 folder located inside the Lessons folder within the InDesign CIB folder on your hard drive. If an alert informs you that the document contains links to sources that have been modified, click Update Modified Links. Choose File, Save As. Rename the file 06_flowtext.indd and save it in the Lesson 6 folder. To ensure that the panels and menu commands match those used in this lesson,
choose Window, Workspace, Essentials. Then choose Window, Workspace, Reset Essentials.
if you want to see what the finished document looks like, open the 06_end.indd file in the same folder. You can leave this document open to act as a guide as you work. When you're ready to resume working on the lesson document, display it by clicking its tab in the upper left corner of the document window. When you import text, you can flow it into a new frame or an existing frame. If the frame is empty, you can click the loaded text icon in the frame to flow the text. On the left page of the opening spread of this booklet, an empty sidebar box is ready for text to be inserted. You will import a Microsoft Word document into this frame, apply a paragraph style, and automatically adjust the height of the text frame. Choose Type, Show Hidden Characters to see paragraph returns, spaces, tabs, and other hidden characters on screen. This helps you place and format text. Zoom in to comfortably view the sidebar text frame on the left page of the opening spread. The frame is about 1 inch wide and has a stroke.
Choose Edit, deselect all to make sure no objects are selected.
Choose File, Place. At the bottom of the Place dialog box, make sure the 3 options are deselected. Show import options, replace selected item, and create static captions. If necessary, click Options in macOS to see the options. Locate 06_highlights.docx in the Lesson 06 folder, and then double-click it. The pointer becomes a loaded text icon, previewing the first few lines of the text in the article you are placing. When you move the loaded text icon over an empty text frame, parentheses enclose the icon. Position the loaded text icon over the placeholder text frame. Click to place the text. Then choose File, Save. The text does not fit in the text frame and is considered overset. Overset text is indicated by a red plus sign in the Out port, which is in the lower right corner of the text frame. You will resolve the overset text later in this lesson. Now you will apply a paragraph style to the sidebar text. The paragraph style includes a nested style that automatically applies bold to the beginning of a paragraph until InDesign encounters the first colon. Using the Type tool, click in the sidebar text frame so that you can format the text. Choose Edit, select All to select all the text in the frame, even the text you cannot see.
In the Text Styles area of the Properties panel, click the Paragraph Styles tab, and then click the menu to see the styles.
Click the triangle to the left of the body text style group to open it. Click the paragraph style, sidebar text. Now click the pasteboard to deselect the text. Choose File, Save. While adding, deleting, and editing text, you often end up resizing text frames. With the auto size feature, you can specify that a text frame resizes itself automatically according to your specifications. You will now use the auto size feature to automatically adjust the height of the sidebar text frame based on the length of the text. Using the Type tool, click in the sidebar immediately before the word plant. Press the caps lock key on your keyboard and then type the headline, "Peas, please." The headline does not include the period. Then press Enter on Windows or Return on Mac OS, and then press caps lock again to turn it off. After adding the heading, the sidebar text no longer fits in the text frame. This overset text is indicated by the red plus sign in the lower right corner of the text frame. With the sidebar text frame still selected, choose Object, Text Frame Options. In the Text Frame Options dialog box, click Auto Size in the list at the left. Select Preview in the lower left corner to see changes as you make them. Choose Height Only from the Auto Sizing menu. If necessary, click the center icon in the top row to indicate that you want the text frame to grow down as if you were manually dragging down the bottom handle of the text frame. Click OK. Click the pasteboard to deselect the objects on the page, and then choose View, Screen Mode, Preview to see how the sidebar looks. Then choose View, Screen Mode, Normal to restore the layout aids such as guides and hidden characters. Then choose File, Save. The process of taking an imported text file and flowing it across several connected text frames is called threading text. InDesign lets you flow text manually for greater control, flow text automatically to save time, and flow text while automatically adding enough pages to hold all the text. In this exercise, you will flow the feature article text into the two columns on the right-hand page. First, you will select a Word file to import into the existing text frame in the first column. Second, you will thread the first text frame to the second text frame. Finally, you will create new text frames on the third page of the document to contain more text. Choose View, Fit Spread in Window to locate the two text frames at the right under the How to Grow Peas, Please headline. Zoom in as necessary to view these text frames. Using the Type tool, click in the text frame at the left, as shown here. Choose File, Place. Locate and select 06_peas.docx in the Lesson 06 folder. Select Replace Selected Item at the bottom of the Place dialog box. If necessary, click Options in macOS to see this option. Click Open. The text flows into the existing frame in the left column. Notice that the text frame includes an outport in the lower right corner. The red plus sign indicates that some of the text you imported is overset, meaning that not all of the text fits in the existing text frame. You will now flow the additional text into another text frame in the second column. Using the Selection tool, click in the text frame's outport to load the text icon. If necessary, first click the frame to select it, and then click the outport. Move the loaded cursor over the text frame to the right and click once in the frame as shown. The text flows into the second column. The out port in the text frame at the right contains a red plus sign indicating that there is still overset text. Choose File, Save. Leave the page in this position for the next exercise. Now, you will try two different text flow methods. First, you will use semi-autoflow to place text into a column. Semi-autoflow lets you create threaded text frames one at a time. The pointer becomes a loaded text icon that automatically reloads after each column of text is placed. After that, you will use the loaded text icon to manually create a text frame. Note that the success of these exercises relies on holding the correct modifier keys on the keyboard and clicking in the correct place. Therefore, it may help to read all the steps in each exercise before you perform them. If anything goes wrong, be sure to choose Edit, Undo, and then repeat the step. Using the selection tool, click the out port of the text frame in the second column on the right page, page 1. This loads the text icon with the overset text. You will create new text frames on page 2 to contain more of the text. Guides indicate where to place the text frames. Choose Layout, Next Spread to display pages 2 and 3. And then choose View, Fit Spread in Window. When the loaded text icon is active, you can still navigate to different document pages or add new pages. On the page at the left, position the loaded text icon in the upper left corner where the guides intersect. For proper placement, watch for the black arrow in the loaded text icon to turn white. Now hold down the Alt key on Windows or the Option key on Mac OS and click. The text flows into the first column. Because you held down Alt or Option, the pointer is still a loaded text icon, ready for you to flow text into another frame. Release the Alt or Option key and position the loaded text icon in the second column indicated by the guides. Click to create a frame within the column guides in the right column. Text remains overset as indicated by the red plus sign in the lower right corner of the second text frame. You'll fix this later. Choose File, Save. Leave the page in this position for the next exercise. To speed up the creation of column width linked text frames, InDesign provides a shortcut. If you press the right arrow key as you drag the Type tool to create a new text frame, InDesign automatically divides the text frame into multiple threaded frames. For example, if you press the right arrow key once while creating a text frame, the text frame is divided into 2 text frames of equal width. If you press the right arrow key 5 times, the text frame is divided 5 times, resulting in 6 columns of equal width. You will now create a 2-column text frame on page 3. You can then thread the text frames to help contain the overset text. Choose View, Fit Spread in Window to center pages 2 and 3 in the window. Select the Type tool and position it in the first column on the page at the right, where the column guide, purple, and margin guide, pink, intersect. Drag the Type tool down and to the right to create a text frame that spans the width of both columns. As you drag, tap the right arrow key once. InDesign automatically subdivides the text frame into 2 threaded text frames of equal width. Continue to drag down and to the right in order to position the text frame within the column and margin guides. If necessary, use the selection tool to adjust the text frames to fit within the guides as shown. Using the selection tool, click the text frame in the second column on page 2. Click the frame's Out port in the lower right corner to load the text icon with overset text. Click the loaded text icon in the new text frame on page 3. The text flows through the 2 columns. Choose File, Save. Leave the page in this position for the next exercise. You will now autoflow the remaining text into the booklet. When you autoflow text, InDesign automatically creates new text frames within column guides on subsequent pages until all of the overset text is placed. This feature is ideal for longer projects, such as books, but for this project, it will end up obscuring some of the images that are already placed. You can fix that easily by deleting the text frames. The text flow is automatically rerouted through the remaining frames in the thread. Using the selection tool, click the Out port in the lower right corner of the text frame in the second column on page 3. This loads the text icon with the overset text. If necessary, first click the frame to select it, and then click the Out port. Choose Layout, Next Spread to display pages 4 and 5. Position the loaded text icon in the first column on page 4, precisely where the column and margin guides intersect. Hold down the Shift key and click. Notice that new text frames are added to the remaining pages in the document, even on top of the photos. This is because you held down the Shift key to autoflow text. Using the selection tool, Shift-click to select the 2 new text frames added to page 5, the frame on top of the image of the gardening tools. Choose Edit, Clear to delete the text frames. Choose Layout, Next Spread to display pages 6 and 7. As you can see, the text is flowing from page 4 to page 6 to page 7. Using the selection tool, Shift-click the 2 next text frames added to page 7, the frames on top of the images of peas. Choose Edit, Clear to delete the text frames. Text is still overset, but you will resolve that in 2 ways. First, you will delete extra paragraph returns in the text, and then you will format the text so that it fits within the frames. Choose File, Save. When writers and editors type in Microsoft Word, they often press the Enter or Return key every time they want space between paragraphs. This helps them read on screen, but it's not helpful to graphic designers. Many publications indicate a new paragraph with an indent rather than space between paragraphs. Even if a publication does use space to indicate a new paragraph, an entire paragraph return is generally too much space. As a result, graphic designers are in the habit of stripping documents of extra paragraph returns. Fortunately, you can search for 2 paragraph returns and replace them with one fairly quickly. You will now delete extra paragraph returns in the imported story. Double-click the Page 1 icon on the Pages panel to center Page 1 in the document window. Be sure that Type, Show Hidden Characters is selected so that you can see the extra paragraph returns. Using the Type tool, click at the beginning of the story before Peas Grow Well on the right-facing page in the far left column. Choose Edit, Find Change, and click the Text tab across the top. Click Forward for the search direction. Select Story from the search menu, which defines the scope of the search. Using the search menu in the Find Change dialog box, you can choose the scope of the search, such as Story or All Documents. In the Find What area, click the Special Characters for Search menu. You'll have an @ sign. Select End of Paragraph from the menu. This places the code for a paragraph return. This is the arrow up or "P" in the Find What field. With the text insertion bar still in the Find What field, select End of Paragraph from the Special Characters for Search menu again.
You have to set up the Find What field to locate 2 paragraph returns in a row within text, as you see in the above image. Now you will set up Change To to replace the 2 paragraph returns with 1. Press Tab to navigate to the Change To field. Select End of Paragraph from the Special Characters for Replace menu.
The Find Change query will appear as Find What? "P, P." That's what that up arrow symbol is. It's called a caret. And change to "P." Click Find Next. When the first instance of 2 paragraph returns is highlighted, click Change All. When the alert indicates that 18 replacements were made, click OK. Click Done to close the Find Change dialog box. Choose Layout, Next Spread to look through the pages and notice the lack of space between paragraphs. You will resolve this by applying paragraph styles. Choose File, Save. Now that all the threaded text frames are in place and the text is flowing through them, you can format the text. This formatting gives you a clear view of how the text fits and how it looks with the layout. Here you will format the entire article with the body paragraph style, and then you will format the opening paragraph and subheads. Double-click the Page 1 icon on the Pages panel. Using the Type tool, click anywhere in the text frame containing the main article you just imported.
Zoom as necessary to see the text during the exercise.
Choose Edit, select All to select all the text in the story, the text in the series of threaded frames.
In the Text Styles area of the Properties panel, click Paragraph Styles, and then click the menu to see the styles. If necessary, click the triangle to the left of the body text style group to open it.
Click the Paragraph Style Body Paragraphs. This applies the paragraph style to the entire story. Scroll through the pages to see formatted text. Choose Layout. Go to Page. Enter 1 in the Page field and click OK. If it's helpful for your screen size, choose View, Fit Page and Window. On page 1, click in the first paragraph of the article, starting with Peas Grow Well in Heavy. Click the Drop Cap Paragraph Style in the Paragraph Styles panel. Now you will format the 6 subheads in the article. Using the Type tool, click in the subhead that reads Fertilizing in the left column of page 1. This targets the paragraph for paragraph formatting. Click the Body Head Paragraph Style in the Paragraph Styles panel. Next, click in the next paragraph, starting with When Dairy Dressing. And then click the body paragraph's No Indent Paragraph Style in the Paragraph Styles panel. Follow steps 9 through 11 to apply the body head paragraph style to the remaining subheads in the story. Apply body paragraph's No Indent to the paragraph following each subhead as well. Page 2, left column, Sewing. Page 3, left column, Thinning Out. Page 3, right column, Protection from Birds. Page 3, right column, Caring for Vines. Page 4, left column, Picking Peas. Page 4, right column, Follow Crops. Choose File, Save. Remain on this page for the next exercise. InDesign provides many methods for adjusting the length of columns of text. You might do this to suit the layout or to keep specific topics together. One way to do this is to resize the text frame with the selection tool. Another method is to manually bump text to the next column with the column break character. Here, you will adjust the size of the text frames to suit the layout. Double-click the Page 4 icon on the Pages panel to center page 4 in the document window. Using the selection tool, click the text frame on the left containing the main article. Drag the bottom of the text frame up so that the height of the frame shows approximately 2.1 inches. Select the text frame at the right, which contains the second column of text. Drag the bottom of the frame up to match the height of the text frame at the left. Resizing these text frames keeps the article text from obscuring the shaded sidebar box. Choose Layout. Next Spread to see pages 6 and 7. The bottom of page 6 contains a box with a quote from E.M. Forster. Using the selection tool, click the text frame at the left on page 6. Drag the bottom of the text frame up so that the height of the frame shows 2.5 inches. Select the text frame at the right, which contains the second column of text. Drag the bottom of the frame up to match the height of the text frame at the left. Click the pasteboard to deselect all objects on the page, and choose File, Save. An aspect of vertical spacing spacing is aligning lines of text horizontally across columns. You can do this using a baseline grid, or called a leading grid, for the entire document. The baseline grid represents the leading, line spacing, for your document's body text, and is used to align the baseline of type in one column of text with the baseline of type in neighboring columns and pages. First, you set up the grid, and then you set a paragraph format that aligns paragraphs to the grid. Before you set up the baseline grid, you need to check the leading value for the body text. Choose Layout, go to Page, enter 1 in the field, and click OK. Select the Type tool in the Tools panel. Click to place an insertion point in the first full paragraph of the story, which starts with "Peas grow well." Look at the leading value in the Properties panel. The leading is set to 11 point. Choose Edit, Preferences, Grids on Windows, or InDesign, Preferences, Grids on macOS to set the baseline grid options. In the baseline grid section, type 0 in the Start field and select Top of Page from the Relative to menu. This option sets the location of the first grid line for the document. If you use the default value of 0.5 inches, the first grid line would appear above the top margin. Confirm the increment every field is set to 11 point to match the leading. Leave the view threshold value at 75%. Click OK. Then choose Edit, deselect all, and choose File, Save. Now, you'll make the new grid visible on screen. To view the baseline grid in the document window, choose View, Grids and Guides, Show Baseline Grid, and then choose View, Actual Size. You can align one paragraph, selected paragraphs, or all the paragraphs in a story to the baseline grid. A story is all the text in a series of threaded text frames. In the following steps, you will use the paragraph panel to align the main story to the baseline grid. Using the Type tool, click to place an insertion point anywhere in the first paragraph on the spread. And then choose Edit, Select All to select all the text in the main story. Choose Type, Paragraph to open the paragraph panel. If necessary, choose Show Options from the paragraph panel menu to see all the options. In the paragraph panel, click Align to Baseline Grid. The text shifts so that the baselines of the characters rest on the grid lines. Click the paragraph panel close box, and then click the pasteboard to deselect the text. Choose View, Grids and Guides, Hide Baseline Grid. Scroll through the entire document to see how the text flows now. Then choose File, Save. The formatting in the story no longer matches the formatting specified in the paragraph styles applied to the various paragraphs. This occurs when you apply additional formatting after applying styles. Continuing to fine-tune formatting is common and is fine for single-purpose documents.
However, many times styles are used throughout an entire project, such as a book or magazine.
To ensure that the styles match any agreed-upon formatting, you will quickly update the styles. Choose Layout, go to Page, enter 1 in the field, and click OK. Choose Type, Paragraph Styles to open the Paragraph Styles panel.
Drag the panel off the dock so that you can reposition it as necessary.
Using the Type tool, click in the first paragraph of the story, starting with Peas Grow Well.
Choose View, Fit Page and Window if you need help finding the story.
The drop cap style is highlighted in the Paragraph Styles panel because it is applied to the paragraph. The plus sign next to the style name indicates that the paragraph formatting no longer matches the style. Select Redefine Style from the Paragraph Styles panel menu. The drop cap paragraph style now reflects the change you made to align text to the baseline grid. The plus sign will no longer display next to the style name. To update the remaining paragraph styles, click in one paragraph with the style applied and select Redefine Style. The paragraph styles used to format the text are body head, body paragraphs, no indent.
Choose Type, Paragraph Styles to close the Paragraph Styles panel, and then choose File, Save.
When an article continues across multiple pages, forcing readers to turn pages, it helps to add a jump line such as continued on page X. You can create jump lines in InDesign that automatically reflect the number of the page where the story continues. Double-click the Page 1 icon in the Pages panel to center the page in the document window.
Scroll down to view a portion of the pasteboard.
Zoom in as necessary to see the text. Using the Type tool and working on the pasteboard, drag to create a text frame approximately 1.7 inches by 0.25 inches. Using the Selection tool, drag the new text frame to the bottom of the second column of page 1. Be sure the top of the new text frame touches the bottom of the existing text frame. The frames must touch for the feature to work. Using the Type tool, click to place an insertion point in the new frame. Type P's continued on, followed by a space. Do not worry if the text is overlapping the story right now. Right-click to display a context menu, and then choose Insert Special Character, Markers, Next Page Number. The jump line now reads P's continued on 2. Next, choose Type, Paragraph Styles to open the Paragraph Styles panel. If necessary, click the arrow next to the folio's style group to open it. With the text insertion point still in the jump line, click the Continued From two-line paragraph style in the folio's style group to format the text according to the template.
Choose Type, Paragraph Styles to close the Paragraph Styles panel. And then choose File, Save. Then choose View, Fit Spread and Window.
Choose View, Screen Mode, Preview. Scroll through the document to see all the pages. Congratulations, you have finished the lesson.